Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for clicking that button. Today we are making orange infused chicken with egg fried rice stir fry. So this is one of the best things that I love to order as a takeout meal, but you can do takeout at home. If you're staying at home, you can make your Asian inspired chicken recipe, and I'm gonna break it down, all the steps for you in this video. Now, earlier I did a recipe on making breakfast, the ultimate breakfast burritos. I'm gonna link that down below, so if you wanna check that out, you can. And for now, we're jumping on to lunch. We first did breakfast for the beginning of the new year, and now we're hopping on to lunch. And our first step is gonna be putting some flavor in our chicken. All right, so I've got some chicken breasts that I've already cut up, and I've infused them overnight with some orange juice. So you can use regular orange or like orange peel. I just had it marinating in the refrigerator with some orange juice just to give it some juiciness flavor. So I drained out the juice, and now I'm gonna season up my chicken. I'm gonna start off with some garlic. I love having garlic in my orange chicken. It's just a really good compliment. Okay, I'll start off with the garlic, and then I'm going to add a little lemon pepper. So we're gonna continue on with that citrus notes. I really like lemon chicken. We're gonna put on a few different types of seasonings, and then we're gonna dredge it in our flour mixture and sear it on our wok. All right, next up, I got a little bit of adobo. So this is a mixture of onion, salt, and garlic. All right, and then I'm gonna add a little bit of heat. I got some cayenne pepper, some red pepper. Just a little bit of heat in there. And since we are doing a little bit of a Asian style flavor chicken, I'm gonna add a little bit of ginger. Now, if you had chopped ground ginger or like crushed ginger, you can use that to marinate it as well. We are gonna use some crushed ginger in our sauce. Once we make our sauce, and we're gonna add some ginger there, but just as a layer of seasoning, I'm using some ground ginger here. And I also got this salt-free seasoning. I actually got this from the Dollar Tree. You can get really good seasonings from there. This has a mixture of onion, orange peel, citric acid, red pepper, and parsley. Okay, so now that I got this nice and seasoned up, I'm going to just get in there with my fingers and make sure it's all coated. Nice. And then I like to smell my chicken, make sure it's balanced. It smells really good, really refreshing from the ginger. Okay. Okay, now that we're all happy and seasoned up, we're gonna get this dredged. So in here, I've got a mixture of flour, all-purpose flour, and cornstarch. So the cornstarch is actually gonna help give it that nice light coating, and the flour is just gonna give it some crunch. I don't want it too dredged up because I am gonna coat it with some sauce afterward. I just want a nice light coating on top. So I've got that mixed in. It's like half cornstarch, half flour. And I've got a little lid. I'm just gonna shake it up. Whew. So midweek or at the beginning of the week, get all your anxieties out. Shake that up. And I've got some oil here. And make sure your oil is hot. Gonna just take off the excess flour here, and then you're just gonna lay them in nice and easily. Now this is, I'm using canola oil. You can use vegetable oil, whatever you have on hand. Just make sure it's a high temperature oil. Okay. That's sizzling away. After we finish frying these up, well, while these are frying up, I'm gonna make sure you have the sauce. I'm gonna prepare the sauce here, just so you can get a visual. I'll pull it up. Now, woks, you don't have to use a wok for this. You can use a regular saute pan, but woks are pretty inexpensive, so you can go ahead and invest in a wok for making a stir fry. Okay, there we go. That is all of our chicken pieces. And then I'm gonna go on to making our sauce. All right, so here I got my chicken cooking up. I'm gonna let these fry on both sides. Here we are, just so you can catch a good visual. I'm gonna work on our sauce right now. So let's start off with a little bit of root herbs, vegetables. I've got some ginger and I also have some garlic. So start off with that in our saucepan. Okay, and I'm also gonna add a little bit of oil to our saucepan just to help it along. Get that cooked up a bit here. So ginger is very good for this time of year as well. Helps just wake up the airwaves. I love having ginger tea. It's also good for you too. All right, so next I'm gonna put in some hoisin sauce. This is it's kind of a mix of a little bit of spice, a little earthiness. Really good. It's gonna give it that like sweet and sour kind of effect. So I love going to like my local Asian takeout place and getting sweet and sour chicken. So that's gonna give it that authentic type of flavor. Next, I'm going to use a tablespoon of soy sauce. When you get your soy sauce, make sure it's the less sodium version. They have two versions. Just want to cut out the sodium where you can. So I've got 1 tablespoon of soy sauce in. Okay. And then I'm gonna do a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. This one isn't traditional, but I like the flavor a lot when I'm making sauces. So if you have some Worcestershire on hand, you can add it. If not, it's optional. And for some heat, I'm gonna add some sriracha. Now, you can, like sometimes people use the Tabasco sauce. This one's a little bit different. It's a little bit thicker and it has like some more herbs, good quality hot sauce. So I'm gonna measure out a teaspoon, 1 teaspoon of sriracha. Now this stuff is really hot. It's kind of mimicking the cayenne pepper that we put in earlier in the chicken, so you don't want to put too much. You can always add, but you can't take away. All right, a little bit of sweetness to counteract that heat. I'm gonna put in some honey, 1 tablespoon of honey. Our chicken is frying away pretty nicely. Oh, it's smelling so good in here. Okay, and then I'm gonna finish up with a little bit of orange juice. Remember, we had our chicken marinating in orange juice overnight, so this is gonna mimic that in the sauce. I've got 1/3 of a cup of orange juice. Okay, Well, you know, Chef P gets messy in the kitchen, so I already made myself a little mess making this sauce, but it is worth it. Okay, so it comes out this like dark looking texture. I'm gonna add a little bit of cornstarch to it just to thicken it up. And it looks like my chicken is almost ready to come out and put on to drain. Let me add a little bit of cornstarch here. Cornstarch helps with thickening up any gravies. And I've already got my oil in here, so that's gonna help just balance it out. All right. If you don't have cornstarch, remember, you can use flour. But whoa, that smells really good. So it smells like I'm already in a takeout spot. All right. Now I'm just gonna let that heat. I'm gonna take my chicken out of the fryer, and then we're gonna get ready to make our vegetable stir fry with some eggs and rice. All right, so I already took my little morsels of goodness out. They have like a really light coating crispiness on the top. Now I set that aside on some paper towels so it can drain off the excess oil. And I also dumped my oil down. You just gotta be really careful with hot oil, so I put it in a heat safe container. And then I didn't put any water on my wok. I just took a little bit of paper towel and I just took out a little bit of that extra grittiness that is on the bottom, the residue from the chicken. Just be careful because the wok's still hot, right? So that will get out all of the grittiness. And now we've got a clean pot and our sauce is nice and thick. This is it. We're gonna coat our sauce in the chicken, but first let's get on our stir fry. So I got a little bit of oil here. I'm gonna hit my pan with a little bit of oil. And then I'm gonna put on my veg. So in here I've got some broccoli, some bell peppers, some mixed bell peppers, and I have my rice. I'm gonna put my veg in first, and then I'm gonna add maybe a little bit of sauce to season it up. Now I cut down these broccoli. This is fresh broccoli. You can use frozen broccoli if you don't have fresh available. But I make sure I get my fiber in, my just iron in. Broccoli is so good, and I love getting like chicken and broccoli or beef and broccoli from the Chinese takeout spot. So I'm just gonna make sure I get some nice fresh broccoli in there. And then I'm gonna add a little bit of that sauce that I've made here too, because it's got that garlic, that ginger, a little bit of soy sauce. I'm gonna add a little bit of that sauce in here too. Not too much, maybe like 2 tablespoons worth. Okay. And while those are cooking up, I'm gonna scramble our eggs. This is beautiful. I like colorful meals. Okay, so I got 2 eggs. Cracked my eggs. And then I'm gonna scramble them up. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt and pepper as well. A little bit of pepper, freshly cracked pepper. A little bit of salt. I've got some extra adobo actually. I could put adobo in here because that has salt majority of the time. So we're gonna whip up our eggs. And then I'm gonna check on my veg and I'm gonna add my eggs in. Okay. Now, one thing. I'm not the best at this. Chef P is not the best, but if you have your own confidence, your own stance, then you can do a nice saute flip, okay? The way that I like to do a saute flip is on here. I got my hand out just like you're doing etiquette. You've got your hand, how can I help you? You're gonna put your hand underneath the joystick here. Like just put it underneath here. And then you're gonna take your thumb and put it right here. Usually woks or just the stem of the pan has a little indentation. It tells you where to put your thumb, right? So you want to stand upright, but you want to lean back a little bit, lean back with it, and then you're going to start with going back and forth. And then once you start going back and forth, you're just going to flick your wrist, okay? If you think you can do it, you can do it. If you think you can't, you can't. That's how it goes. So just going to give yourself a little bit of flip. Awesome. All right, so now that that's sauteed some, I'm gonna add in our eggs. Okay, get my eggs working. And now you could add in your vegetables with your meat, or you can add in your vegetables with your rice, whatever you prefer. I like to add it in with my rice, just so you can see different colors throughout in the rice. And I'm going to add, lastly, my long grain rice. Now I have some leftover rice that I had made from the night before. You can just use rice that you just cooked up if you want to, but just let it sit out for maybe an hour or two so it can have that that sitting kind of flavor. You're gonna fry it and you want it to be dry. So I add my rice in with the eggs. Now look at that gorgeous beauty. And I'm gonna add a little bit of soy sauce just to give it that color that we like to see from a takeout spot. Maybe a little bit more of that sauce that we had from earlier. Just gonna hit it with a little bit, like a tablespoon worth of soy sauce. And a little bit more of that ginger hoisin sriracha sauce. Now it's giving me, oh, it smells so good. Do your takeout at home, guys. Okay, and let me know if it's just a nice little weeknight meal that you can whip up. Affordable and just flavorful too. Very good for you. All right, so now we're gonna put everything together. I'm gonna clean up my area here. Okay, let's take our chicken. It's been drained. It's been sitting on the paper towels. And I've just got a regular stainless steel bowl. Put my chicken in. And then I'm gonna put in my sauce all over the chicken. Put that together. And then last, I've got some sesame seeds, just to give it that little bit of flex throughout. Awesome. Okay, so there's our sesame seed orange chicken. Let's plate up. Now, presentation is always key. I've got myself a little hack. This is a 1 cup measuring tool. What you're gonna do is take a little cooking spray and you're gonna spray your measuring cup. And this is also for 1 serving. So this fried rice can serve 2. It's about 2 servings of fried rice, or 3 even, like maybe 2.5. But I'm gonna take my fried rice and I'm gonna pack it into my measuring tool. This is beautiful. Very good source of vitamin C with the bell peppers. You can change this out for peas and carrots if you wanted to, but this is what I had in the fridge. Okay, so I've got that packed in, right? Boom. And then I've got my plate. I'm gonna take my plate and invert it upside down. Wow. Okay. Then when you invert it, I'm gonna slowly pick up my measuring cup, and it's gonna give me like just a beautiful mound like this. It's my fried rice. And then I'm gonna take my sesame chicken and I'm gonna put it alongside the edges. Just so you can see here. Boom. Now, I hope you try out one of these affordable weeknight meals. Let me know in the comments how yours turned out. Did you add the spice? Did you add the sriracha? Here's how it came out for me. It's beautiful. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. This is our orange infused sesame chicken.